If businesses are looking to outsource some work, or if they're looking to reduce labor costs, they come to us. And if we do enough, if we can present to them, something that can actually benefit them, and I have that pride knowing that it will benefit them, then it's easy for me to sell. And when it's easy for me to sell, knowing it's going to benefit them, it's like if I don't get them to buy, I'm doing them a disservice at that point. And if you wouldn't mind, there's like a quick analogy that I learned from that old sales education thing that I bought into that I think is really, really cool. And it's the analogy of drink the water. And it's by Mike Barron. So I have to give credit where it's due. But it's called Drink the Water. And it's imagine me and you were walking through the desert and we see this guy that's lying face down. His face is in the sand, mouthful of sand, right? But he's breathing. We can see that he's alive, but he's been there for a couple days. He's like hallucinations, doesn't know where he is. He's on the verge of death. We have water bottles, but he won't drink them, right? He's delusional. We know that it's going to save him, so we have to get him to drink that water. And so you have to do everything in your power to get them to do it because you know this is going to save your life. So taking that approach towards sales, I found if you can genuinely believe that you giving this person XYZ product, XYZ service will benefit them, then you should be selling as many people as you possibly can. Otherwise, you're doing them a disservice.
So that makes me think of when I've tried to tell my friends about the real world because I know it's changed my life and I know it will benefit them. But then it feels like if I push too much, then they'll just back off even more. So, is there anything you'd say for that? Like, how can people who have joined the real world and see how much it has helped them, how could they spread it to other people that whose lives they'd like to improve as well?
Man, if you try to convince somebody against their will, they're going to be of the same opinion still. You can't convince them. If they see you leveling up in all levels of life, they're going to start asking why, right? And you don't have to like be a product pusher or anything. You can just ask them the right questions and have them lead themselves to the conclusion. Okay, so I have a quick question for you, right? Like this is it's a little sales thing. Do you feel like you're more persuasive telling somebody what to believe, or do you feel like you'd be more persuasive if you were able to ask questions to invoke emotions that make them want to make that change for themselves?
Yeah, ask questions.
Exactly. So from them seeing you level up in all walks of life, they're going to come to you and they're going to ask you how you're doing it. Okay. And from there, you can tell them, yeah, it's all because of Hustle University, it's all because of the real world. Or you can tell them it's a little bit of the real world, whatever you want to say. But if you genuinely feel like it's going to help them and they will not listen, don't don't waste your breath, man.
Mm.
You can't help everybody. You can help anybody, but you can't help everybody. Anybody who's willing to listen, speak to them. But if they do not listen to you when you speak, if you are talking about what you're passionate about, whether it's how the real world might be able to help them, and they will not listen, stop talking. It's doing yourself a disservice and it's devaluing the words you're saying.
Okay, thank you for that.